Good morning, Life Point. Welcome back for our final day of this teaching devotion. Happy Friday. Here we go. We're jumping back into our lesson on abundant love. God's love is an amazing gift to each one of us, and you could never outrun it. You could never expound on it to the point that you understand it completely. So even though we've spent 5 days talking about His love, there's still so much more that's there to experience and be drenched in if you will allow Him to pour His love into you. We talked Wednesday about how He conquers our fear of the past. We spoke yesterday about how He conquers our fear of the present. And if you're following your verb tense, past, present, hey, today must be about the future. And that is true. Looking into the future and anticipating that which is unknown to us can produce fear. If you're a worrier, this lesson is for you. If you felt anxiety, this lesson is for you. And that's everybody. But with God on our side, as we put our trust in Him, we have no reason to fear what may happen in the future. When you live for God, you can walk in the assurance that He is with you. Every day, whether it's today or tomorrow, He is going to be there with you. Jeremiah 29:11, one of our favorite verses, says, I know the thoughts that I think towards you. I think thoughts of peace and not of evil, and I will give you an expected end. He has hope and He has a future for us. Because of His abundant love, we can be confident that He will guide us and protect us. Ultimately, He will provide a place for us with Him forever in heaven. That's our future. That's what we're looking forward to. Our future is secure in His love. God made a way for each of us to be saved, not because we had done anything to deserve it. No, because He loved us. He loved us so much that He took care of our future. He said, I'm going to prepare a place for you. And if it were not so, I would have told you. But where I go, there you will be soon also. And He began to build that place for you and I because He loves us that much. Flipping back over to our story of Mephibosheth and David, we've seen how David's love and friendship conquered Mephibosheth's past, his heritage and his mistakes. It conquered Mephibosheth's present, his problem that he had, that he was crippled, and it conquered his fear of the future. David promised Mephibosheth that he would show him kindness. Presently, he pulled him up to the king's table, but there was more than that. He conquered that fear in the present, but he took him a step further. He promised Mephibosheth that he would have his father's land restored to him, and he would always have a place at the king's table. In 2 Samuel chapter 9, where we find this story, it says, David said unto him, Fear not, for I will surely show you kindness for Jonathan your father's sake. I will restore to you all the land of your father, and you shall eat bread at my table continually. What was Mephibosheth's reaction to this? He bowed to the floor and he said, Why are you noticing me? I'm a dead dog. He had nothing that he was proud of. There was nothing in his life that he was proud of, but he was so ashamed of his past and of his present that he didn't understand why love would give him a future. The king summoned Ziba, Saul's steward, and said to him, I have given your master's grandson everything that belonged to Saul and his family. You and your sons and your servants are to farm the land for him and bring in the crops, so that your master's grandson may be provided for. And Mephibosheth, grandson of your master, will always eat at my table. So what does this do? It secures Mephibosheth's future, not his personal future, but the future of his heritage. So because he would eat at the king's table, his past and present were taken care of. But not only did David do that, but he gave him a way to sustain himself in the future, and not just himself, but a family. This opened the door for Mephibosheth to be able to get married and have children, because he recognized, okay, if I have children now, they have land that will support them for the rest of their lives. That's the gift that David gave to Mephibosheth. And my friends, that is the gift that God gives to you. He doesn't just erase your past. He He doesn't just take care of your present, but he provides for you a future. These commands given by the king ensured a future for Mephibosheth. He would have an inheritance. His descendants would have land to farm and property to settle. The abundant love of a king had set this once fearful, frightened man free from the chains of his past and plunged him into a hopeful future. You and I have been offered that abundant love in living for Jesus Christ. His perfect love is able to completely cast out and defeat all your fears. Because of our King's abundant love, we can live free from our past, at peace in our present, and hopeful for our future. He is going to take care of you. And if you're a parent who's wondering how this is all going to play out for the future generations, and you're looking at this and saying, oh God, what about the economy? What about this? Put those thoughts out of your head, because God is still on the throne and he is in control. And if he gave you children, he will provide for those children. As long as they keep putting their trust in him, what do they have to worry about? So your job is to keep your trust in him and teach your children to keep their trust in him, because God has a future and you and I are blessed to be a part of it. If you walk with him, he will take care of you. We can walk in surety and in peace, knowing that he is right beside us. His perfect love casts out all of our fear. I pray that this teaching devotion has given you a better understanding of just how powerful God's love is. May you feel his blessings surrounding you today. In Jesus' name.